do tell us really how different the mindset of the incoming of your incoming NDC administration would be. I mean, ending your spell before the 2016 elections, you had given us Terminal 3. You had given us great investments into Ghana Gas, which we're enjoying today. The electricity situation had improved by the time you were headed out. What is the mindset coming back to the Ghanaian people?
So you knew the answers to the questions you were asking before you asked them previously. You are now telling us what the real achievements are.
There are always two sides to the coin. You'd agree. Two sides to the coin.
Those are generational investments, and that is what I have been talking about. Those are things that the hospitals we are building, the airports, and all the things you talk about, the power we are providing, the infrastructure, road infrastructure, and the other pieces of infrastructure. Those are the things that lays the foundation for any economy to take off and provide a better future for your next generation. Mm-hmm. So when we come, certainly we continue along those lines, because you cannot develop a country without a solid infrastructure base. Infrastructure itself is not a sufficient condition for development, but it is a necessary condition. When we're building the infrastructure, people misconstrued as to mean that everything in the country is about infrastructure. We never said that. We said that even though infrastructure is not a sufficient condition for development, it is a necessary condition. You cannot develop without infrastructure. So let's fix it. If we have limited resources, let's fix the infrastructure. We will get to a point where, with the minimum infrastructure laid, the other things like attracting investment to generate growth and all that will naturally follow.
How do you think this administration compares to your record of infrastructure?
Go and ask the citizens, not me. You have been covering the poor road network and all that throughout the country. You've been covering the creation of Ministry of Railways, which is focusing on dismantling old rail lines and selling as scrap. You have been covering it in your network. And so we have decided to lay back a little and let the citizens do the talking. Let them testify about what is happening in their areas. And that is why what is happening is happening. If we had proceeded on taking the lead in talking about infrastructure here, lack of roads here, lack of these things here, people would just, push the thing into NDC MPP. But now, it is the people who are in the communities who are talking and complaining about lack of infrastructure here and lack of infrastructure there. And so, the verdict is already out. And one thing we are going to assure Ghanaians is that these incidents or the practice of abandoning projects midway because they are projects of your predecessors, that practice has been very, very harmful to our economy. And it's in fact has contributed to the debt overhang, which we are unable to pay. Mm-hmm. Go to see the cocoa roads that were abandoned at a certain point in time just because somebody decided that there could be something wrong with the contracts for the construction of cocoa roads. So all contractors laid off. Roads that had come to, that has been cleared, some have come to fixing of sub-base and base, some were ready for tiring, some had first surface dressing and all that. All of them over the country have been left to the mercy of the weather, and they've all been washed away. Now you are struggling to get money to go and repay the loan that we took to fix the cocoa roads. Is that sensible governance?